So, good morning. Today I'm on the book tour, and I'm very excited to be on the book tour for something called Love, Secrets and Absolution. It's from an author, K.L. Loveley. The Kindle died, so I read it on the iPad. It's really fantastic. I first got in touch over the fact that she's from Nottingham, which is where I live, and so that was just a connection. And I was a little bit nervous as I started the book. K.L. Loveley is a nurse and has a nursing background, and that's very beautifully part of the book because there's a sort of medical edge to it. And basically it's the tale of a family of a mum who's for me, the central character, because I guess I'm a mum, and for her son, from birth to his early 20s. And sort of it's quite a slow burn sort of book. It's quite gentle in lots of ways, and it's just about his life, and it's from his perspective even as a newborn, which is a really fascinating way to write, I think, and works very well. And from her perspective as a mother learning and growing. But the child has autism, her son has autism, and that isn't diagnosed, and it's not really understood. And so it causes the breakdown of the marriage. His father leaves home. It's also set during the miners' strike, so there's a lot of sort of tension there and angst. There's financial problems, and it's just how she raises this unusual boy. He's actually rather lovely. He's very kind and thoughtful to his mum particularly. He falls in love several times, and we hear the story of some of the women that come into his life. It's really, really beautiful book. I would absolutely recommend that you read it. As I say, it's not the high drama. It's all very sort of peaceful. I mean, dramatic things happen, but they're not dealt with in a sort of overly grandiose way. They're just dealt with in a very calm and beautiful way. And I really thoroughly enjoyed reading it. It's a nice timepiece because it's set during that period of real struggle in the country for the miners. It's also set in a sort of that period where we're starting to learn more about human behaviour and recognise that certain behaviours in children sort of indicate that there might be somewhere along that spectrum, and that wasn't picked up because he's actually in university before has some tests and some discussions with medical people who know better, and that helps him to understand some of his own sort of views of the world, I suppose. I mean, there are some nitty-gritty bits in there. There are a few drug-related storylines. There are some abuse-related storylines. It's not that she doesn't cover the tough stuff, but she does it in a very sensitive way and in a very thoughtful way. And it just makes you want to read more and more. I have to say, at the very, very end, I liked the fact that the end is satisfying, that it does end, it doesn't just sort of wimble on, which some books do, and that annoys me very much. So it does end, but I wanted something just a little bit more, I suppose. Just a slightly more Disney ending, because they're two such lovely, lovely characters. I really, really warmed to the mum and the son, and they're just beautiful people and living normal lives, but actually are extraordinary in their own ways. And I thought that was lovely. It was quite an uplifting book to read. I think absolution perhaps is quite a big word. I guess I had thought that he would have done something worse maybe than he actually did. I didn't feel he needed absolution. I felt that he had actually behaved remarkably well given his situation. I wish she had asked for help more. I wanted her to have more support and more kindness in her life. But yeah, really read it. It's a really, really lovely, lovely book, and quite nice for the winter. It's a hot chocolate and a snuggle up sort of book. It's rather wonderful.